Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Britt, and I am here to bring you the Golden Handle 2019 finals. The competitors are getting ready to go out onto the ice right now, so you're going to see them all lined up because, as is tradition here at Nutmeg and in many other bonspiels, a piper will be leading them out onto the ice, and then they will walk up the ice. If you've never seen it, it's an amazing sight, so I'm going to bring it to you. You're going to see our competitors walk across the back, up the sideboards, and then out and across the ice. So let me set up the matches for you. Over on sheet A, we are going to have the third event final between Team Adams from Cape Cod and Philly. That's Nathan Adams, Courtney Lee Beauregard, Brian Hamilton, and Julie Tim. They'll be taking on our own Team Zaken from Nutmeg, and that is going to be Mark Zaken, Jane Murray, Mike Henneberry, and Ronna Zaken. Second event final will be taking place over on sheet C, and that is going to be Team Rimkus from Broomstones. I always botch his name. Enriquez Rimkus, Nicole Aaron, Nursis Tamudis, and Abby Stender. Sorry, Broomstones. I'm sorry if I botched the names. I really try hard on that. And they're going to be playing Team Mooney, who is joining us this weekend from Plainfield. Mark Mooney, Patty Hefner, Don Arsenal, Linda Pesci. Over on sheet B, our main event final is going to be Matt Gallegos. I always botch his name too. And he's from Ardsley with Katie McKinley Daly, Sharon Gallegos, and Tom Daly. And they'll be playing our very own Jack Miller. Jack is playing with Nada Leslie, Craig Steffen, and Jane Beatty. So we have a very lively warm room right now, so if there's a little bit of background noise, please forgive me. So you can see the folks lining up. Here's the view from the back. They're all lining up and preparing to walk down the ice. And here they come. It's always, if there's a fun aspect to this, it's trying to watch all of these curlers walk uniformly down the ice. And let me take this opportunity before we get started to just say, what in the holy hell is Matt wearing on sheet B? Is that pineapples? He wore it yesterday too? Oh, yep, no accidents. Everyone is lined up, and Jack Miller will step forward to deliver the toast. We will unfortunately not be able to hear it, but they'll applaud for the piper, and Jack will deliver a curling toast, and they will then begin the matches. So this is our last broadcast of the Golden Handle, so we appreciate you all joining us. As always, if you have any comments or questions, please leave it into the stream. I will be happy to answer whatever I can. Did someone give Jack a shot? Someone needs to give a shot to Jack. There we go. Rick's got it. As far as I'm concerned, there's only two things that have to happen at this point in the Bonspiel, and that's you have to give a shot to the piper and the guy who's given the toast. Now the piper and the flag bearers leave the ice, and we can begin the curling match. If you missed the early matchup today, which was the fourth and fifth event final, they were very good games. A lot of fun to watch. The A game, which was the fifth event final, came down to an extra end, which was really nice. So right now you're looking at the six house view, which is where we'll spend a lot of our time early on. They're taking their practice slides, and the matches will commence momentarily. They are 8-end matches. I believe there is no time limit on the finals. It is winner take all. So Sheet B will be getting underway before everybody else, and it's going to be Gallegos with the hammer. Jack will be throwing red over on Sheet B. Matt will be throwing yellow. Now over on Sheet C, sorry, over on Sheet A, Zaken is going to be throwing yellow. Adams will be throwing red. All right, over here on Sheet C, Patty is out and Elizabeth Falsetti is in for her. And okay, they've moved the lineup around a little bit. Linda is throwing advice. So Plainfield will be throwing red. And Rimkus will be throwing yellow. All right, I just want to keep the color straight. All right, so early on, we've got a couple of stones in the houses already. Looks like Jack and Matt are going to trade some stones over on Sheet B. Meanwhile, Team Zaken and Team Adams have a couple of guys in the 12-foot already. Over here on Sheet C, we have a couple of guards just set up off the center line. So interesting. Sheet B, it looks like Gallegos and Miller have decided to start with a hit game and see who can make more hit shots than the other team. See how this works out. Meanwhile, over on Sheet C, with the guards set up, a nice cluster of guards right in front of the house. The race to the button has already begun. I want to thank everyone who's joined us throughout the tournament. Thank all of our visitors. We have teams from Plainfield, Ardsley, Cape Cod, Philly, Broomstones, Jersey Pinelands, Long Island is in the house. So we thank you guys all for joining us. Hope you'll join us again soon. It's a unique format here in the Golden Handle in that we do a round robin format, which is apparently a lot of people enjoy, so that's great. So over here on Sheet C, the yellow stone from Team Rimkus is a little exposed, so now a hit and roll opportunity exists. Meanwhile, over here on Sheet B, they continued, well, they've stopped trading stones, and now they've got a couple guys in the house, and looks like they're going to go to a draw game. And over on Sheet A, they're just playing around in the 12-foot right now and delaying the race to the 4-foot and to the button. As always, if you are with us on YouTube, please don't hesitate to put something in the comments. I see we've got some folks watching live right now. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions or comments, I'll try to get to them as soon as possible. Just feel free to drop something in there. So it looks like the hit opportunities for Team Miller, it looks like the curl is a little bit more than they expected. I wasn't sure if the line was hit perfectly, but they've unfortunately missed a couple of the shots that they wanted to hit. Meanwhile, over on Sheet C, here comes a nice hit up on a red. The red's going to go out the back. Very nice. So sheet A far, which is where they're playing right now, is the worst angle for me to see because of my broadcast position over behind C. But it's clearly one red in the 4-foot under cover. Looks like Mark Zaken is trying to outdraw him. He's going to jump in there and try to sweep it as far as he can. And even though that may not be exactly where he wanted it, it's a very tappable shot. That's going to give him something to work with later unless Adams decides to remove it, and he might be doing that now. Meanwhile, back on sheet B, Miller is continuing to try and remove that yellow stone that is in the back four. Nada Leslie throwing at that. And the sweepers are just watching a beautiful shot evolve as Nada hits it and rolls just a tiny bit to the right side. So Matt says, if you can do that, I can do that too. Meanwhile, over on sheet C, yellow is definitely the counter, which I believe is Rimkus. And so they are going to try and tap it up, I think. They're all on the front half of the house. Most of the stones are out front. Whatever is in play is in the top 12. They've got a lot of room to work with, but a very clogged house, or clogged front of the house. They're sweeping it pretty good. It means it's curling a little more than they thought it would be, and he might get a split out of this if they both stick around, and they will. The shot rock is actually now the shot that was just delivered, and it is right behind the conglomeration of stones that's on the center line. So it's in a glorious spot, but it is still sitting in the 8-foot. So they're going to try, Team Mooney is going to try and promote their red into a better position. A great shot over there by Rimkus. Wasn't by Rimkus, but by his team. Meanwhile, I glance over at sheet B, and they're just still shooting at each other. So this might be really nice coming in on C. It's all about the angle. And the angle is good, and it's going to promote all the way up to the 4-foot, it looks like. Let's take a quick look. Yes, clearly the counter. Back to the 6-sheet view so we can see everybody that's going on. Over on sheet B, we can see there's a primarily empty house except for that biter in the back. And yellow is going to try and eliminate that red right now. Over on sheet A, we've got a red in the 4-foot under full cover. And Jane Murray getting ready to deliver. Not quite sure what the call is here. I saw Mark tap his broom, but I didn't see where. And the smell of ham begins to pervade the war room. Over on C, we try to move the conglomeration of stones and open things up a little bit, and it looks like they succeeded. It's a little bit more spread out. And I can definitely see a little bit of that yellow. Don't think that was what they wanted to do, but that's what they ended up doing. On sheet B, we're up to skip rocks. And Jack's about to deliver his first one. And this is going to be a simple draw. He's got a yellow guard to use. And this would put him in a position to possibly steal. So the stone's underway. Here comes the stone over on sheet C2. Should be coming into view. I believe this was a tap, and it's going to curl more than they expected, so they're going to abandon it and just let it end where it ends. Meanwhile, the draw attempt on sheet B from Jack Miller, it looks like it might be a little deeper than they wanted, but it looks nice. I don't know how much of that is visible. Quick glance. That red stone is what he just delivered. So it looks like Matt's going to try and come down and sit upon it and maybe even push it out of the way. Meanwhile, over on sheet A, red appears to be counting 2. They've got that one under full cover, but they've also got something in the 8-foot with some yellows around it. Mr. Zaken has made his call, but I'm not sure what it is. Over on sheet C, They managed to get to that red stone and push it into the back 8, but I'm pretty sure it's still the counting stone. Show you that really quick. That red stone in the back 8 used to be in the front 8. But yeah, and it's going to be difficult to reach. It is under a lot of cover. Back to six sheet view. Try saying that 3 times fast and not embarrassing yourself on YouTube. Here comes Matt's shot, and he is going to take out the primary red and spill out to the outer 12, and I believe he is technically shot rock. So Jack is going to go after it and challenge Matt to make another good shot. If he can eliminate that stone, he can force Matt to accept no better than 1 in the first end and take over the hammer, which is, given the way this particular end has evolved, a win for Jack Miller, in my opinion. Looking over at sheet C, we're up to our first skips rock. And Mooney's in the hack, and he is going to, it looks like, try to draw in. There's a lot of space on that side, and he just needs a touch of 4. Trying to see what's going on over on sheet A, too. On sheet C, the draw comes up short, and it's going to end up being a guard. And it's going to clog that port somewhat and make it a little bit harder to get in there. Red is still 1 over there and well buried. So meanwhile, over on sheet B, Miller completes the takeout, and he's sitting there. But Matt can just take out that stone or outcount it and take his 1. And you're not imagining anything, folks. Matt is wearing pineapple pants. Meanwhile, the first skip rock for red is coming in on A, and it looks like it's going into the 12. And that's not going to be end up in the count right now. The count is still to red, but it's going to make it a little bit more difficult for Mark Zaken to get in there. So I'm not quite sure what Mark will do here, but we'll keep an eye on it. Meanwhile, here comes the stone over on sheet B. This is the hammer, and he is going to hit and stick for 1. So 1 yellow to start the match over on sheet B. On sheet C, there's a lot of conversation going on with Team Rimkus to try and figure out what they want to do. And Team Zaken is still discussing what they can do. No, red has the hammer over on A. So it's not only a matter of can I cut them down or move a stone out of the way, but what am I going to do with preventing him from having an easy last shot? Kyle Slover has checked in. Hello to Kyle and Amy. Kyle is a retired and relocated Nutmeg member. It's good to hear from you, bud. Following your exploits, you work for a very important company out there, and we see your posts periodically on Facebook. I will make sure that the Warm Room knows that you have checked in. So glad. I hope everybody is well out there in New Mexico. All right, shot comes in on sheet C. Oh, we got granite moving all over the place. Let's see what it looks like quick before they start moving stones. It still looks like 2 red, but the count has changed a little bit, and it's definitely more open. So now yellow will have a shot, and they can probably see most of that second stone. So they're going to go after that red stone, maybe even sit on it to make sure they can't get more than 1 or 2. Over on sheet A, which I can't give you a zoom of, an interesting shot has pushed yellow into the back 4. Was that Mr. Zaken? It was. I didn't see the exact shot, but whatever it was, it worked out very well. And if he is not counting, he is definitely the second stone, and that will make the end a little bit more difficult for Adams, who is now about to deliver his hammer. All right, and just so you guys know, the stream will go silent for just a few minutes. We're going to be having the pin presentation from the fourth and fifth events. So while that is happening, the stream will continue, but be silent. I'll be back in a few. Hello, everybody. We are back. I apologize about that, but we want to make sure that we give a nice, quiet, warm room for the winners of our fourth and fifth event. So, with pin presentation over, I am back on the mic. Let's see where we're at right now. We are in the second end here on sheet C. And it looks like we are down to skip rocks, and there's a very crowded house, so there's a lot of discussion going on for Team Rimkus. Over on sheet B in our main event, we are into our third end. We're back to trading rocks again in a 1-1 game. Over on sheet A, I can't really see the scoreboard too clearly. It looks like, yes, there it is, 4-1 in favor of yellow, which is Team Zaken. So everyone is in the third end, except for over here on sheet C, we are still finishing up the second end. Checking up on the chat now. My pleasure. Oh no, Kyle, you did not lose the audio. I had to go silent because we were doing pin presentation. Not your fault. I apologize. I did put it out there. What I should have done is put it into the comments as well that we were going to go silent on the broadcast just long enough to give out the pins. Now that the pin presentation is done, we are back. What a lovely shot over here on C. Right up to shoulder on that red stone. And there is still a chunk of the button visible, but it's going to be, you might have to chip that if you want to be out counting it. I believe red is about to throw the hammer. They are. Let me show you what's going on here on near C really quick. A lot of stones in there. It looks like if he could chip out that yellow and sit, he would be sitting too. So we'll keep a close eye here on sheet C. But we are already to skip rocks in the third end over here on sheet B. And Jack Miller is delivering his first stone. And we are stone trading again. Appeared like a hit game. Nada's trying to will that stone to curl. I don't think she wants to spill, and she won't, but she'll push it out, and they will sit in the back 12. And now Team Gallegos comes up. It's not that hard a name to say, Matt. It's the pineapples that are throwing me off. So when you come to watch this later, blame the pineapples. So here comes the hammer on C. The weight is nice. It needs to bend just a little bit because there is a stone acting as a guard there in the 12-foot. Here it comes. Is it going to move the stone the way they want it to move? It is, but it's also going to spill out, but it's still going to be 2 red. So red will take 2 on very nice skip rocks and go up 2-1 in favor of Mooney. Here we go over here on sheet B. You're going to see Matt's first shot coming into play, and he's going to take out Jack's rock. So Jack is likely going to return the favor and try to limit Matt to an opportunity just to hit for 1. Over on sheet A, red is counting at the moment. They've got something out in the, what is the left-hand side of the 8-foot. Wouldn't be surprised if they try to hit that, though. Here comes Jack's shot. And again, Nada trying to will it over. And he will end up again out in the outer 12. So now Matt will try to hit and stick to take 1. A lot of back and forth hitting over on sheet B. Interesting strategy by both skips. It's almost like they're daring each other to be the first one to miss. 2 very experienced skips. Very experienced in nutmeg. Matt has been here multiple times for the golden handle. He knows our ice very well. If I remember correctly, they both have golden handle championships. Matt's hammer is underway over here on sheet B. There's one sweeper going on it. I think that's just for safety. Looks like it's got plenty of weight. Looks like it's got line, and it's going to hit and stick for one. So Matt will take a 2-1 lead over on sheet B against Nutmeg and Jack Miller. Over on sheet A, now we can really quickly go to the far houses view, give you a better view of what's going on as sheet B gets cleaned up and gets ready to start delivering. They're playing a little faster than everybody else. Looks like Mark Zaken is going to come after that red rock. He's got enough room to do so. Might be parking down onto it. And they will hit that red stone out of play, clearing the house of red rocks, and now there's only 2 yellow. Back to the 6-sheet view because B is going to be coming towards us at the top of your screen. Everybody else is moving away from the warm room at the bottom of your screen. So just to reset the scoreboards for you, it is 4-1 in favor of yellow on sheet A. That's Team Zaken leading Team Adams. On sheet B, it is 2-1 in a takeout extravaganza between Team Miller and Team Gallegos. I'll get it right someday, Matt. And over on sheet C, Team Mooney leads Team Rimkus 2-1. Very different kinds of matches going on. Like I said, it's a takeout extravaganza over on B. C has been stacking the house with stones, and A has been a lot of back and forth. And just now, over on sheet A, Adams puts a stone right in the back of the button. And I believe Mark Zaken can see that stone. But he's pretty much putting it out there and saying, you need to get me out of your way. Over on sheet C, we have a yellow stone coming down. It's going to bump up the yellow right to the button. What a nice shot. Oh, sorry, through the button into the back 8. But that stone is partially covered, so they're going to draw down to it. Meanwhile, on sheet B, Matt's takeout gets the job done, but fails to stick around, so the house is empty. And Jack will call a draw to an empty house. Over on sheet A, Adams is getting ready to throw his first stone. He does not have the hammer here, or does he? No, he has a hammer here. My apologies. This is his first stone. And Team Zaken did successfully eliminate that red stone, but does not look like the yellow stuck around. So again, it's still 2 yellow in the house right now. His stone is on its way. It looks like it's got hit weight. So he might be trying to just hit and roll off that yellow, which would be very nice if you could get under cover. Here it comes into your view. And it's going to hit and roll, but it's going to roll at an angle and into the back 8. It's going to be shot rock, and it's going to be undercover from the yellows. So Zaken's probably going to use his last shot to try and draw down to it to make sure they can't get more than 1. Meanwhile, over here on sheet B, in a shocking move that has stunned the warm room, Jack Miller has called the takeout. Again. And Jack's takeout will be successful, and the red stone will drift off into the back 12-8 line. And so Matt, in a warm room stunning move, is going to call a takeout and take out Jack Miller's stone. If the sarcasm is not clear in my voice, it's sarcastic. They have called nothing but takes in this game. These guys are just shooting at each other. The Wild West on sheet B. That's it. And Bob is right behind me, and there it is. There's the first miss on a takeout. And that's really what it's been. They've been challenging each other to do these takeouts and to see who would blink first. It's bound to happen. It took 3 ends. So now Jack Miller has an opportunity to set up an end based on 1 miss. So while that's going on, let's take a look over at sheet C because there's a bunch of stuff stacked up there. We got a red on the button in front of a yellow in front of a yellow. Oof. If they can get that red out of there somehow, they could have the potential for a really big end. But that's going to be tight. That's a really nice placement for the red. And what they're going to do is hit the guard and open it up. The problem is there's literally 6 inches of separation and a straight line behind the red. So even if they hit that red, they would need to hit it at a significant angle. But red's going to say nuts to that and try to click their own red back into their yellow or guard again. Looks like that's guard ice. Meanwhile, on sheet B, takeout, moving on. Over on sheet A, a nice shot by red. It's going deeper than they wanted, though. That was the hammer. I'm not sure what the count is because they're both in the back 8. The Vices are looking at it. It's either 1 red or 1 yellow. No question there's more than 1 there. Are they calling for a measure? Stone coming in on sheet B. This one looks a little lighter. Looks like Jack is going to try and curl around the guard down to that yellow stone. And this could be really nice. A gorgeous shot by Nada. Right into the 4-foot, right in front of that yellow stone. That's going to be difficult to dislodge, particularly with that guard there. But he could definitely draw down to it. Sheet C. They put up a guard just off the center line. I can see maybe a quarter of the red stone. Let me show you really quick what they're looking at. That stone in the 12-foot, that red one, just got put up. And it's tight. I think he's going to try and outdraw here. Meanwhile, over here on sheet B, as I go back to the main view, the yellow rock actually goes right through. I don't think it curled as much as they thought it would. So Jack Miller is going to call for a counting guard. Well, yeah, right in the top 4. So here comes the shot. It looks like it's a little heavy over here on sheet B. I could be wrong. Let's see where this ends up. They've thrown so many takes over here on sheet B that it's hard to tell the weight. And it's going to end up going right through. Waiting for the score to be posted over on sheet A to tell me if that was a red or a yellow win. Well, easy to tell because red's in the hack, so it must have been a point for yellow. So that should make the game 5-3, which I misread before. 5-3 in favor of yellow. Over here on sheet C, we're getting up to skip rocks. Red has thrown its skip rock, first skip rock rather, and this is what we're looking at. Now yellow getting into the hack, and they're discussing what they're going to do here, but this entire game on sheet C, there's been at least 4 or 5 stones in play inside the house, and a lot of them have been either on the center line or close to the button, so it's been difficult sledding, so to speak, and trying to figure out what you're going to do. Meanwhile, over on sheet B, there is a yellow stone coming in. I believe it's Matt's first stone. And Jack is in position. He's waiting to see where this goes. And it is going to skinny by his red. So 3 straight shots trying to get into that 4-foot area in front of or against the red have failed to come back as much as it was anticipated. And now we have a situation where Jack can really put a guard up that's just touching the 4-foot. And if the line is right, he's in a great position with hammer. Meanwhile, the shot from Team Rimkus is underway over here on C. It's got a lot of weight. He's trying to move some granite. He's going to hit the red and miss the pile on the button. But now the front, with the exception of the high red guard, is all yellow. And that gives him some options in terms of tap ups or angle raises. So red is going to come up for their last rock. Meanwhile, Jack Miller's throwing over here on B. Jack's shot looks a little heavier than he wanted. And again, it's just not going to curl as much as they anticipated. And it's going to go right by the other stones. And they're laughing about it over on sheet B that no one can figure out draw weight right now because they've been throwing so many takeouts. That's what it's all about, having a good time. Curious to see what they do over here on sheet C. This is his last stone, but it is not the hammer. So Mooney in a 2-1 game. Looks like he's trying to set a guard. Very interesting setup. In sheet A, the 4th end is underway. A couple red stones, one in play and one out in front of the house, and nothing in play that I can see for yellow. So we'll keep an eye on that. These 3 games playing at very different paces because of the style of games that they're playing. Sheet B, the main event, is way ahead of everybody else because they played so many hits. All right, and Matt's last stone does manage to get inside of the red. Sheet C sets up the guard, so really quickly, here's what it looks like over here on sheet B. So if Jack Miller can hit that yellow, stick, and not disturb his own red, he can take 2. Back to the 6 sheet view. Mark Zaken is going to try and clear out some stuff out in front of the house to try and make it possible to get some action later. And he does manage to clear 1 red stone and peel to the side. He's going to stay in play, but it's so far away from the stones he's worried about that I don't think it's going to worry about it out there. So back to sheet C. Well, actually, let's go to sheet B because here comes Jack Miller's hammer. And it looks nice and heavy. The sweepers are just walking. And he's just got to move it a bit. And he does. And he does. He moves it back enough that it's going to be 2 red. So there's a breakthrough in that game. It will be 3-2 Team Miller after 4. They're still talking about what to do over here on sheet C with the hammer. Let me show you what they're looking at. Yellow has the hammer here. It's near impossible to get directly at that red stone on the button, so they're trying to figure out how they can get their point. And it looks like they're going to try an angle raise just to move that yellow into that red, dislodge the red enough to count 1. So we'll keep an eye on that. 5th end underway over on B. Fourth end in progress on A. A nice takeout just thrown by Mike Henneberry from Team Zaken. So the Zaken play to clear out the front yields fruit. Over on sheet C, here comes the raise attempt. Go to it really quick, and it's going to end up skirting right by. And it's going to end up being one red. So that's going to make the score 3-1 in favor of Mooney over on sheet C. So they have just finished the third end. And sheet B has been such a quick moving game. They're a full end ahead. They're in the fifth. And for the first time I can remember this particular match on sheet B, we have guards in play, and you can't hit guards this early on. So they are right now setting up guards and seeing what they can do. Again, that game is 3-1 in favor of Red and Team Miller. Over on sheet A, device rocks, and I see two red rocks in the house. So Jane Murray is going to try and take one of those out. There is a guard in play, but the guard is high enough that Jane can probably work around it, and it's not quite lined up perfectly. Plenty of weight. Sweepers are walking. There's an outer one, so if Jane comes up wide, she's got a backup plan, and it's going to be the backup plan. She's going to spill out the back of the house, but that's not a bad result for Team Zaken. They get rid of the red stone. Just not the red stone they had been particularly targeting, but one that was in the count. Apologize. I think I got the score wrong over on sheet A before. It is tied at 4. Shot coming in over here on sheet C. Really nice. It's going to just click off of the yellow and push the yellow out of play, and the red is going to end up in the 8-foot. Skips are going to talk about it, but they're going to leave that stone in play. It was difficult. The skips were in both positions to try and sweep the opponent's stones rather, and got a little bit in the way. So, meanwhile, over on sheet B, we're back to takeout action. And that's a nice shot. That might roll under cover. It's going to roll a little more than under cover, unfortunately. But it is out there and it's sitting in the house. Over on sheet A, we're in the fourth end still, and we're down to skip rocks. So Team Adams is delivering his first rock, and he's going to try and hit that yellow out. Team Zaken did a really nice job of kind of getting the guards out of the way and forcing an open hit game in this particular end. But Team Adams does a really nice job. Hits and rolls. Let's see if I can go to that really quick. And you can see he got under almost full cover with the way those guards are lined up. And he's going to force Mark Zaken to... I'm not sure what Mark's doing here. Mark might be trying to draw through that port to get to it, so we'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, over on sheet C, the precision shot making continues. A gorgeous draw to the button by Red, and Team Mooney has put an interesting end in play. These guys have operated inside the 8 and 4 foot all game. As opposed to sheet B, where they've been doing a lot of takeouts, this has been a lot of draws and out draws, and kind of get into better position kind of situations. Mark Zaken's first shot is on its way over on A. He's trying to skinny through 2 guards, and he gets by them both, and he nails the red stone. His yellow will spill out and empty the house, but given the placement of those guards, that was a very nice shot. Missed one to the inside, one to the outside, and still got in there. Over on sheet C, there's an opportunity for a double over here on the yellows. Might need to come to that really quickly. Yep, you're going to see a red stone coming into play momentarily. Here it comes. It's not going to get the double, I don't think, but it's going to get one. It might roll really nice. That's real nice. That's a nice shot right there. Red's counting 1 at the moment, and it just puts him in a better position. Over on sheet A, here comes a draw. Right into the 4 foot, maybe just short of the button. And Mark Zaken is getting ready to throw his hammer, and he is going to try and knock that out of the way and take 1 and take a 5-4 lead. What's going on over here on sheet B? Our main event final. Jack has something in the top 4. Looks like he's using a guard here. Over on sheet C, yellow's guard hits the front red and redirects out of play, which actually is exposing that yellow a little bit. Almost makes it worthwhile to consider going after that yellow. Meanwhile, over on B, it looks like Gallegos is going to go after that red. This is going to be a narrow port, so let's show it to you really quick. He's got it. Oh, he hits the guard. But now it's wide open. That's not a bad result. Gives him an opportunity. That was Vice Rocks. Gives him an opportunity to get in there and get at it himself. Over here on sheet C, Mooney is going to go after Rimkus' yellow rock in the back 8 and try to hit and stick, and would be counting 3 if he did. He's going to get the hit and just a minor roll, and it's going to be 3 reds staring down Team Rimkus in the house. Rimkus has the hammer, so he's going to try and open up the center and leave himself a couple shots to get to the button. Over on sheet B, we're up to skip rocks. Jack Miller is stepping into the hack. It looks like he's trying to set up a guard for his shot rock, seeing as he does not have hammer and a small lead. A steal here would serve him well. Oh, over on sheet C, they do get the peel. Very nice. Now it's wide open. So they're going to try and put that guard right up again. Mooney's going to put that guard in the way again if he can. Over on sheet B, let's take a quick look. Jack Miller's guard curls a little more than he intended. So it's in a good position depth-wise, but line-wise, it's going to give Matt an opportunity to hit it. So Matt will go after that red stone. A is up to the 5th end, and the score is being posted. And it is 5-4 in turn for Team Yellow and Team Zaken. To admit, as a broadcaster, watching 3 of these championship matches at the same time, very, very challenging. Oh, Elia, sorry. Jeez, man. Thank you so much for tuning in. Glad to have all 6 of you guys watching at the moment. Appreciate all our viewers tuning in. And don't forget, viewers who are tuning in right now, if you can't stay for the entire match, all of these matches archive on YouTube. You can come back to them at any time and look at these matches. The beautiful thing about how our system works, we can go back and look at these matches later. Oh, wow. A lot of granite moving on sheet C. Yellow rock pushes the red guard straight back, moves stuff around. That was the first... No, that was the Vice Rock. It is still 3 red at the moment, but there's a lot of movement going on. Looking over at sheet B at the moment. Looks like Jack is getting ready to deliver his last stone. Let's take just a quick cursory glance at what Jack's looking at. Jack is looking at 1 red in the back, and then the question becomes which of those biters, the yellow on the bottom of your screen or the red on the right-hand side of your screen, which would be the top of the house, is the counter. So Jack is going to try and make it a moot point and just draw in. Jack's shot is underway. It's got nice draw weight. The sweepers are going to go on it. Maybe it's a little lighter than I thought. A guard here is not a terrible option either, just as long as it keeps Matt from getting to the button. And it is going to end up being a guard. I'll show you where that ended up. Right there. And Matt's hammer's coming up, so the vices are going to look just to try and see which one is the second stone. That's a very difficult port for Matt to get through, to get to the button, but it's there. He's talking about the angle raised there, which is not a bad option either. Over here on sheet C, we're still taking another good long look at it. This would be Rimkus's first stone. And he's taking a look at, I don't know if he's going to try and sit. It looks like hit. Hit ice. But a hit and roll wouldn't be a bad thing either. Here comes a hammer over here on sheet B. Probably cut to that really quickly when we get to the overhead. Coming into play now. And it's an angle raise. He's trying to raise us into the 8 to be the shot rock, and he will get there. It's going to end up being 1 yellow. Very nicely played. That's going to end up being 1 yellow and tie this match up at 3. So through 5 ends in our main event final, Jack Miller 3, Team Gallegos 3. Meanwhile, over here on sheet C, it's still a 3-1 lead in favor of red. But the yellow stone from Rimkus is going to come up just short. Even if it had not curled past that rock, they had the tap-up option. It just didn't hit. Now here comes red's last rock, and I think red is going to try and guard its stone because from my perspective, red has got 1, 2, 3, 4 in play right now, counting. So if he can just block his path to the button, he's going to get something. Over on sheet A, a lot of crowded stones out front in a very tight game. I think that game is 5-4 if I'm reading the scoreboard correctly, with Team Zaken with a 1-point lead. So some very interesting games going on here in the final. This looks heavier than a guard to me. He might be trying to draw in. A gutsy move. I like it. That's going to be a little heavier than he wanted to, and I think it's going to end up going through the house, unfortunately. And it's going to leave it's going to stay in the back 12. And now they've got 5 counters in play. So Rimkus needs to get something into the 4-foot to win this end. Something into the 8-foot to cut him down from 5 to maybe 2 or less. This is a very important shot for Team Rimkus. Guards in play over on B are forcing a shift in strategy to a draw game a little bit. It's going to be another guard's going to hit the pile and just add to it. Here comes the shot from Rimkus. The sweepers are on it right away. You can't see the mid-ice, but I can, and they are going furiously. They're looking up. They're talking with the Vice. Well, I think you got to come up, folks. If this goes too deep, it's still going to be a couple of points for Red, and they're going to be on it, and they are going to get at least 1, maybe 2. It's definitely a steal for Red. The question is how many? And the Vices have decided, I would have to guess from where I'm sitting, it's a steal of 1 for Red, but we'll see how it shakes out. I hear 1 from Brian over here in the warm room. He's sitting right next to me, so he's got the same angle, but he's got a little bit of a side angle, so he might see that better than I do. Definitely at least 1 Red, maybe 2. Let's see what happens. Meanwhile, over on sheet B, we have a red stone in play. So what do you do when you get a red stone in the 8-foot? You get it out of there. Over on sheet A, there's a lot of action in front of the house. Hard to tell from here, but it looks like there's only that 1 red in the house. But with, it looks like 8 stones in the guard zone, it's going to be hard to take that out. Over on sheet B, the hit attempt is unsuccessful, but what it does do is a nice plan B of pushing a yellow stone undercovered into the 12-foot. And that's going to possibly serve him well if he can get that red stone out later. But Jack is going to do what he can to prevent that from happening. Looks like Jack is calling a tap or possibly a narrow guard. It's tap weight coming from Craig Steffen, who we thank for taking on the 9 a.m. draw so I could sleep in a little bit today. Definitely got the weight for a tap. Might have too much weight for a tap. No, that's going to be really nice. It's going to push it into the back 4 right on the line between the 4 and 8-foot and under a ton of cover. So right now on sheet B, the count would be 2 red, but that front red, the second stone, is visible. And Matt's going to draw through that hole and try to get right down to the stone that Jack promoted. I don't know that he has enough room there, but he thinks he does. Sweeps on it. Shots underway. Sweeper's up. Sweeper cleaning. Cleaning. Is he by the guards? He's got to miss the guards on either side. There's 1. There's 2. And it's just not going to curl enough at the end to get through there. That was a beautiful attempt. You had to miss both of those guards by inches and get enough curl at the very end to hit that stone out. And he got by the guards, which I honestly didn't think was possible. and did a fantastic job. It just did not get over as much as they wanted it to. So Jack will try to seize on that. He has hammer here. And he will try, it looks like he's going to try and tap it up again. Or maybe even just plug the hole. It's got nice weight. It's got like guard weight. They're not really struggling to get it into the house. They're just trying to block that path to the button. And it won't be a counter, but it will be biting the front of the house. So we are through 4 on sheet C, and the score is 4-1 in favor of Team Mooney. We are in the 6th on sheet B because they've been playing a very fast-paced hit-style game, and that game is tied at 3 in our main event final. And we are we're in the 5th end. We're in the 5th end over on A in a 5-4 game, but we're down to skip rocks there. It looks like Adams is going to take his last shot. And at the moment, it looks like it's very close between yellow or red as to who has shot rock. I might have to walk down there and take a quick look to see who is shot over on sheet A. Oh, and upon closer inspection, it's definitely one red. A gorgeous draw over here on sheet C. Puts a stone right on top of the button, it looks like. Well, actually, it's just short of the 4-foot, but it's helpful. Waiting to see what's going on over on sheet A. It looks like red came up short and pushed yellow closer. Now, he does not have the hammer. Mark Zaken does not have the hammer with yellow over on A. So it looks like he's going to try and take out the red stone in such a way to prevent them from getting any shot at 2. See how that shakes out. Over on sheet B, we've got a draw down to the back 4 that's going to be second shot. They're using a very narrow port and very effectively. And Jack is going to close that port. He continues to have shot rock at the moment. Even with hammer, he is trying to make sure he does not give up anything this end. Very back and forth game over here on B. Well played by both teams. Here comes the shot. Looks a little heavier than he intends, but it could work out nicely. It's going to open up the right side. It's going to make draws a little bit easier, but still got to get by those guards and get enough curl to get into that button, and that's not easy. Meanwhile, over on far C, this is what we're looking at. I don't know who shot. Yellow? Question mark? Very close. As this whole match has been. It's been played almost entirely inside the 4-foot. Excellent shot making in that game as well. Great play just all around. They're still discussing what to do over on sheet A. Here comes a shot on C, and it is heavy. He's going takeout. Sweepers are going, trying to hold it straight. They need to get by that guard, and they will not. It will impact the guard, but by impacting the guard, they have opened it wide up. And now, Mooney has no choice but to put up another guard, I would imagine. Here comes Matt's first shot over here on sheet B. Nice wide open side after the last shot. Question is it going to curl where they want it to go? And it looks heavy, and it is. It's not going to curl as much as he wanted it to. He's going to end up going through the house. So now Jack is going to put a guard up in the 8-foot. and just try to guard access to the button for Matt's last shot. We have stones moving over on sheet A. Do we have a measure? No, they've got it. Let's see what the score put up over there is. I was so paying attention to what was going on over here on B, I did not see what the result was on A. Over here on sheet C, the yellow gets popped out. And now red is sitting 3 in the 8-foot. That's going to be a challenge. And they're on just first vice rocks now. Jack Miller is running down the ice, preparing to throw his final shot of the 6th end. Shot over on sheet C. Nice and heavy. Sweepers are on it for line. And he's going to click one red into the other and jam, but he's going to reduce the count from 3 to 2. Meanwhile, over here on sheet B, here comes Jack Miller's guard attempt. Right there is not a bad thing, folks. Nope, it's going to curl just short of the center line, and that's going to make the shot a little more difficult. It's still there, but it's definitely more difficult. The 5th end over on A resulted in another 1 count, a steal of 1 for yellow and Team Zaken, and they're going to take a 6-4 lead. That's our 3rd event final, 6-4 in favor of Team Zaken at the moment. Our 2nd event final has been one of the most interesting matches I've seen all weekend because they've been playing such tight curling between Mooney and Rimkus. Fantastic shot making. And here comes another one. This might actually be an angled tap up a little bit, and it is. They're going to tap up a stone into the back 8, and Mooney is counting at least 2, possibly 3 after that. Really quick, here's a look at the overhead. And Rimkus now has got to start eliminating those red stones or he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Over on sheet B, which is uncharacteristic for this particular match, we've got a lot of clutter out front. Jack Miller is contemplating his final shot. He may be 1 or he may be 2. We're not quite sure. I'd have to guess red if I had to guess. Sheet C, shot from Rimkus. It does successfully double out 2 red stones. Very nice shot. And now it's only 1 red stone in the house and 2 more yellow, and those yellows are both under at least partial cover. Very difficult to remove. So here's what Jack Miller's looking at. This is a quick glance at near B. Yeah, I think it's pretty clear it's 1 red, but he does not have the hammer. No, he does have the hammer. This is his hammer. This isn't a conversation, Jack. Just get inside there. You've got to just nestle down on top of that yellow. So Jack will be trying a draw down to that yellow, which again is not super easy because of the placement of the guards. There's a high guard there for yellow, which you can see. It's right around the middle of your screen on the center sheet that he's got to get around and then curl enough to get right up against that yellow. Not an easy shot. Here it comes. It's heavy. It's by the guard he wanted it to be, but it's not going to curl enough, and it's going to end up going through. It's going to be 1 red. So that is going to allow Jack to take a 4-3 lead after 6. Wow, such great matches going on. Over here on sheet C, we've got the first stone coming in from Team Mooney, and it's unfortunately going to sail through. I think he was hoping to get just a piece of that yellow stone that's in the top of the house. big opportunity for Rimkus. If Rimkus can eliminate that red stone and roll over to the right side, he could be sitting 3 under full cover. Let me show you what I'm seeing right now. There's the red stone sitting all by itself. Those 2 yellows that are biting the 8-12 line are under a pretty good cover. So if he can hit and roll anywhere behind those 2 stones, he would be very difficult to get out and become a race to the button. Mooney would have 1 shot to get to the button and make sure he can't be removed, or Rimkus would have a shot at 4+. Yeah, 4. The shot for Rimkus is underway. 1 sweeper's on it. It looks like it's curling a little. Oh, here it comes. It's going to hit. It's going to roll. They're going to sweep it, but it's going to roll right where he wanted it to go. Let me show you really quickly where that ended up. That ended up right in that 4-foot. That is a gorgeous shot. Now, Mooney's only choice is to try to draw down to it and limit him to a draw for 1. But if this shot does not go the way he wants it to, Rimkus may have a draw for 4 or a hit for 4. It's a very important shot over here on sheet C. Kind of watching this match just because it's been so back and forth. Here comes the last shot from Team Mooney. A very crucial spot. You need to get this right in the right spot, where this could be the break for yellow that they've been looking for to get right back into this match. Really quickly, here it comes in the overhead. Here comes the shot. It's starting to curl in, but it's got more weight than they wanted. And that shot is visible. So Rimkus can hit and stick there and take 4 and get right back into this match. That actually would swing to a 5-4 lead. He's down 3 at the moment, so a 4 shot here would give him a lead. 7th end is underway over on sheet B, and first stone from our first stone in the house is from Team Yellow. On sheet A, they are into the 6th end. Again, that is a lead right now for Team Zaken. I believe it is 6-4. It's hard to tell because where I'm sitting and the people standing in the way. Craig Steffen from Team Miller throws a takeout on the yellow rock. He'll spill out of play, but Miller is fine with that. No, it's not out of play. It stayed in, just out of the rings. Here comes the shot by Rimkus. Might have to go overhead on this one really quickly. He can chip that red out of there and stay in play. He's got 4. He's got the line, and he's going to hit and stick, and that's going to be 4 yellow. And all of a sudden, it's a brand new game on sheet C as Rimkus takes the lead 5-4. So now every game, with the exception of sheet A, we've got a 5-4 game in our on our second event final here. Our main event final is a 1-point game. And we've got a 2-point game over on A for our third event final. Fantastic curling going on. Everyone is in their 6th end except for sheet B. The main event final is in the 7th. This one's going to come down to the wire, folks. I want to thank everybody who's joining us today. And just a reminder, if you don't get to see the whole match, everything archives. You can go on our YouTube channel anytime and take a look, and we will have these videos available. What fantastic curling this morning. It's traditional to applaud teams as they come off after a match in a bonspiel like this, but every single team has absolutely deserved it in this match. They have played fantastically. The shot making on C, the hit after hit after hit on B, the maneuvering on sheet A to get around the guards that have been put up masterfully. I can't remember an end on sheet A that's had less than 3 or 4 guards out front. They have just played fantastically all across the board today, and we really appreciate it and appreciate you joining us today. We're up to Vice Rocks over on sheet B, and right now there are 2 stones counting for Matt. That's kind of what he wants to do. I mean, this is 7th end. He needs to take a lead here and then just try to prevent a Jack Miller score in the 8th to walk out of here with the trophy. Ada Leslie throws a shot, and the Scrubbers are on it right away. I believe the call was to push it back. Here comes the shot into view right now on your screen. Jack's going to get out there and start scrubbing. Try to get every inch out of this stone. And that's going to nestle right up against the yellow. Is it perfect? No. Is it fantastic? Absolutely. That's going to give something to work with, and it's going to be very difficult for Matt to get out of the way and get more than one. Over here on sheet A, Mark Zaken is trying to navigate through the number of guards and get into the 8-foot, which would make him shot. There is a port there. It's it's not extremely narrow, but it's narrow, and he's through the port. Now it's a matter of it's going to stop for him. They're going to scrub it just to the back 4. That's a really nice shot by Team Zaken. That was his first skip rock. So now Adams is going to try and follow it down and park right on top of it. Adams does have the hammer here, so he would really love, and he was shot rock before that happened. He would love to push that out of the way eventually and get a chance to sit 2 or 3, and that would give him an opportunity to cut this lead down and possibly take the lead. Over on sheet B, we're still on our Vice Rocks. Let me show you what that's looking like right now. We are playing a very tight game inside the 4-foot. Ada Leslie preparing to deliver her last rock. And it looks like Jack wants to try and... Well, Jack is shot at the moment, so he's probably going to... He's considering a guard. He's also considering getting right where he tapped to make it difficult to promote a yellow into a red. He's got a lot of options here. I kind of like the guard, but you could come either way, so I kind of like nestling right in there and making a combo of 4 stones. It looks like that's what he's going to do. We'll cut back to the full view. Over here on sheet C, the 6th end, everything is pretty wide open right now. There's got some guards in play and a biter in the front 12, but nothing definitive this early in the end. Keep an eye on it. And Jack is taking such a long look at this that he has called his vice down to see what they want to do. This is an important shot. I'm not criticizing him at all for taking some time and really thinking about this. They're going to take a good long look. Over here on sheet A, here comes Mark Zaken's last stone in. Very similar to the last one, except it hits the guard out front and is going to close that port. So now, oh, they're tapping the 4-foot because they think they can get there. I'm not sure what his path is. Okay, the port is more narrow, but he thinks he can still get there and outcount Zaken. This is going to be a very interesting shot over on sheet A. Let me show you what I can see on near A. So it looks like he's going to try and go through that port between those 3 reds and those 3 yellows and end up outcounting the yellow stone in the back. And if he can push the yellow stone further back than his red, he can count 2. Interesting opportunity here. Let's see what he does with it. That's a lot of ice for what I'm calling, though. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just a simple draw, try to get 1. Over here on sheet B, Jack and Nada's consultation is ended, and here comes Nada's stone. Creeper's walking with it. And this stone is going to end up, it looks like, right in the center of that conglomeration. Might even push their red up to the button a little bit. Here comes the stone from Adams. No, I thought that was Adams. Yeah, it wasn't Adams Rock. But I saw yellow moving. So I think it was 1 yellow, which would be 7-4 Zaken if I saw that correctly. Listen, there's too many good shots going on at once here for me to keep track of everything. I'm doing my best. There's a lot of good curling going on. Speaking of which, over here on sheet C, we have got 3 stones in the 4-foot. And we've got Rimkus trying to get in and make it even more crowded. And it's going to glance off the guard and make life more difficult. Here's the shot looking on B. You can see that that red stone by Nada has promoted up her own red straight to the button. Here comes the shot, and it's going to click him out. What a gorgeous shot. What a gorgeous shot. And right now, it looks like 2 yellow is the count. But Jack can possibly go after that yellow stone with his first rock. So we are playing absolutely within the 4-foot, inside of the 4-foot on sheet B. Score is going up over on sheet A, and it is in fact 7-4 in favor of Team Zaken. Over on sheet C, here comes a very heavy shot. This has got to be a takeout with a roll. And he's going to hit that yellow and redirect another yellow to the button. And now we've got 4 stones inside the 4-foot and at least 3 of them touching the button. And it looks like the count is 2 yellow. So Rimkus is just going to put up a guard and say, I'll take the way that just bounced out. I don't know why he's thinking about this. You've got 2 on the button without the hammer. Why would you be thinking about anything other than guarding what you have? And there it is. He's going to call for the center guard. Meanwhile, Jack Miller's first stone is underway. Cut to that really quickly. Here's the overview on sheet B, and Jack Miller's coming in, and he's going to hit that yellow. He's going to click the other one, and now the count has changed again. I think it might be 1 yellow, but it could be different. It is a 1-point game here in the 7th end, so there is conversation taking place over on sheet B as to what they're going to do here. Over on sheet C, here comes the shot from Mooney's team. And it looks like he's going to try and go in between those 2 yellow guards and dislodge some stuff. Weight's good, but it's not curling, and it might impact a guard. It gets by the guard and moves all sorts of stones around. Wow, let me show you what's going on here on near C after that shot. Got one yellow right on the button, surrounded by three reds in the 8-foot. And now Rimkus has got to be thinking, I got to guard that yellow. How is he going to try and get in there to get me out of there? And I want to prevent that. Conversation continues over on sheet B. This is a very important shot for Matt. It's his first stone, but with all these stones inside the 4-foot and all this stuff very close and tightly packed together, he's trying very hard to find where he can go. So we've reached that point in the game where every shot is even more crucial than it was before, and so we have to talk about them. Meanwhile, Sheet A just keeps plodding along with life. They're having a good time. They're playing a quick pace game. Wow, an almost full team conference now under play over on B. It is not an easy decision to make. Rimkus is also still talking over here on C. In the time these two skips have been discussing their play, 3 shots have taken place over on sheet A. So this is not easy decision making over here. Rimkus, I think, has decided on the guard. So Matt is finally sliding down this way. Rimkus is in the hack on C. Matt is finally sliding down. He must have decided what he wants to do. It is, I mean, I don't want to criticize either of these skips at all. They're fantastic skips, and these are not easy calls to make. Rimkus is going to deliver his stone first, so we're going to take a look at that. He releases and it is underway. It looks like it's got decent weight. It's starting to curl. Here come the sweepers on it. If it's a guard, it might be over curling. They might be looking for a wick here to use that to close the hole. They'll hit their guard and they'll get their wick, and that hole is closed. Meanwhile, over on sheet B, here comes Gallegos' shot. We'll go to the overhead really quick. Here comes his shot into play right now. And he is going to edge that red. And I believe the count right now is 2 yellow. Very nice shot. So Jack Miller will have a decision to make with his last shot as to how he is going to cut this down or prevent him from getting any more. He does not have the hammer here. The last thing he wants to do is give up 2 or 3 to Matt Gallegos and give him an opportunity to claw back into this game. Totally back and forth this entire time. Been fantastic to watch. Broadcaster's going to get some sugar, as in candy. Scoping out the ham. Shot coming in over on sheet C. Mooney gets through that port, but unfortunately all he really does is move his own stones around. And now it's 1 yellow with protection. And Rimkus has a shot if he can get inside of that red stone to get to 2. Mooney does have hammer. Jack Miller continues to discuss his shot with his team. Craig Steffen is heading down the ice. So they must be pretty close to deciding what they want to do. It is not an easy call. Rimkus is looking at a promote, a corner promote. A touch of 4-foot would be definitive, so he doesn't need a ton here. Jack Miller's entered the hack, calling for an adjustment on the broom. He looks like he's going after that yellow stone to try and cut the count down to 1 and prevent him from getting a shot at 2. The shot is underway, and it is heavy. Sweepers are on it immediately. Rimkus is just getting to the hack, so we're going to go to the overhead for you. Here comes Jack Miller's shot into play. Oh, no. He hits his own red stone, scatters things straight back, and unfortunately it's going to leave 2 yellows as counter with the hammer to come. That's going to give Matt Gallegos a chance to take 3 here and change the score to 6-4 in favor of him. Here comes a shot from Rimkus. Go to near C really quick. Looking to promote here. Needs to out-promote that red. And the angle isn't there. So it's 1 yellow. Now they're trying to figure out. Oh, he did. He opened a port there. Brian just pointed that out to me too. So Mooney won't waste any time because a hit and stick here would be a 3-point swing for red. We see the shot coming in right now from Gallegos over on B. And it looks like it's going to be good enough to give him a 3 spot. And that will change the score to 6-4 yellow after 7. So Jack is coming home, and he needs 2 points to tie. Here comes a shot from Mooney. Trying to get through that port. Sweepers are trying to keep it straight because there is a guard there, and he's going to get through. He's going to hit the yellow, and he is going to stick, and that's going to be 3 red. And that makes the score 7-5 in favor of Team Mooney. 2 big swings on B and C. They take big ends, well, 3+, and consequently now all of a sudden we are coming home on B and C with teams with the hammer trying to get a couple of points just to force a tie at this point. Meanwhile, over on sheet A, Zaken maintains a 7-4 lead after 6. They're in the 7th end, and first glance, it looks like an empty house. Red feet, and we're down to first rock. Red should have the hammer here. It is. It's his first rock, but with an empty house, he really needs to get both these stones to count. Can't really come down 4 without hammer. Stones underway. Let's see if we can get this into the house. Sweepers jump it all the way, and they get it into the 8-foot. But it's hard for me to tell from my perspective if it's got any sort of cover at all. It might be fully exposed, and if it's fully exposed, it's just a matter of going after that stone. Mark does not appear to be looking at a direct hit, so it must not be fully exposed. But it does look like he's going to try and draw heavily down to it. So Matt is going to try and eliminate rocks to make Jack Miller's life more difficult. But unfortunately, the first attempt misses his redstone in the back 12. So now Jack is going to try and increase the count by taking out the yellow and sticking around. Meanwhile, we have a shot from Team Zaken. This is his hammer? No, this is his last shot. Red has a hammer here. Sweepers are on it pretty hard. And he is going to hit the red and roll over under cover, and he is going to be very difficult to outcount right now. He's going to have to draw into the 4-foot just to get one, which would make the score 7-5, and then he'd be down 2 coming home without hammer, forcing a steal requirement. So this is not a great setup for Team Adams. He's got some work to do here. So the point is there for him to take and get the draw, but it's not easy. Meanwhile, over on sheet B, Team Miller failed to get out the yellow stone. Team Gallegos will fail to get out the redstone, and we've traded a couple of shots through the house. 3 to be exact. And Jack is now starting to count his granite, but he still wants that yellow stone out of play. The draw is underway from Team Adams. And I don't think he got there. He didn't. So it's going to be 1 yellow. And it's going to be 8-4. No, sorry, 2 yellow. It's going to be 9-4. But Adams has the hammer coming home. He could conceivably take 5 with hammer to tie or 6 to win. It's going to be a very interesting finish over here on sheet A. Under the heading of interesting finishes over here on sheet B, Miller manages to get that yellow stone out of play, but does not stay in play himself. And now here comes yellow trying to take out the red, and they will and stick. I think if you're Miller at this point, you got to start looking about how you're going to keep stones in play and less about how you're going to be moving his granite, and that's what he's going to do. He's going to say, give me something just in front of the tee line in front of that yellow. Oh, he's thinking about it again. I think that's what he's going to do. I think he's drawing down to it. Going to the tee line in front of it, rather. Zaken has begun throwing through. He does not want to put anything in play to help Adams out. The shot from Craig Steffen. They are all sweeping it. It is not going to reach the house, unfortunately, though. It's going to be a guard for him, but that's still something he can use. And it leaves a decision for Matt. And he's going to say, I just want red granite out of play. He is going to attempt to eliminate red granite. Now, there is some risk here. If this hits the wrong way and jams, it's a long run back and a very specific angle, but it does exist. And the redstone goes shooting off onto sheet A. And the yellow stone goes off into the corner, the far corner on the right side of the sheet, where it's pretty harmless right this second. Jack is going to try and use his first stone from his vice. To get over in there and get counting. I'm looking over at sheet C. They're still in the 7th, so I'm not too worried about them. But they are a 2-point game as well. Yeah, you guys got to get that to the house. Don't stop sweeping. That needs to get in. Oh, unfortunately, the sweepers came up. I think they came up a little bit too early. It's a biter, but it's not going to be counting, and it's actually going to make it more difficult to get that yellow stone out of play. So probably a minor weight error call there. They probably should have stayed on it So again, it doesn't make a difference if it's a guard or if it's right up in front of it. Matt's going to go after it. And these teams played a hit game for the majority of the first 3 ends, so they're very familiar with hits right now on this ice. And they'll successfully clear out that stone. And Jack is down to his last 3 stones, 2 of which he needs to be in the count. Here comes the last stone from Nate to Leslie. This one definitely has more weight. And with the backing, it's just a matter if the line curls where they want it to curl. Nothing wrong if this stone sits right up against that yellow. It's going to move the yellow, and it is going to be counting as 1, but it is accessible. Over on sheet A, the throwing through continues for Team Zaken. As long as red is not going to put stones into the house, they are just going to continue to give him nothing to hide behind. We're down to skip rocks in the 8th end in our main event. Matt is going to attempt to hit this red and force Jack's hand. That would leave Jack with 2 stones and a need to count 2 for tie. That would pretty much leave Jack on the brink of elimination. Jack would need to make 2 shots that could not be removed and not outcounted. It is not undoable, but it is very challenging for any player. Matt's stone is underway. The weight looks perfect. The sweepers are staying off of it. The question is, does he have the line? And he does. So I think Jack has no choice but to sit on that yellow, or in front of it at least. He's going to want to try to get to T-line. But the reality is, if Jack leaves this stone in any way, shape, or form removable, his match is over. Over on sheet C, we have 2 red stones in the 8-foot, and they're under mostly cover. But you could draw down to them, and that's exactly what Rimkus is going to try to do. Over on sheet A, we are counting granite as well. We have 1 red in the back 12, but they need a 5 spot to tie. They're running out of stones on sheets A and B as they come home. Jack Miller lining up his draw. Here comes the draw from Miller. The sweepers are on it right away. They can afford to be heavy, but they can't afford to be light, and they've got to have the line right. I think this is a line call, the sweeping. I think it's over curling on him. It's the second shot. It's not a bad slot if he can, unless Matt does something to put something else that counts in play. There is the potential for a double there, where if Jack nailed it and sat on the hammer, he could count as 2. So Matt's going to try and hit this red stone and just put it out of play, because if he puts it out of play, then the game is over. This is a championship winning shot right here for Matt. It looks like it's got plenty of weight. The sweepers are on it, though. That says to me there's a line concern. Nope, they're up. And the stone goes out of play, and that's going to end the match. Sheet B will go to Team Gallegos. from Ardsley. Congratulations to them. They will win the 2019 Golden Handle in a fantastic back and forth match against Team Miller. So they'll be coming in momentarily, and you'll hear a lot of applause for them when they do. Sheet A is very close to wrapping up as well. Are they out of rocks yet? No. They've got 2 down there and 3 down here. So if this hit is successful over on Sheet A by Team Zaken, that would end this match as well. He needs 5. I'm going to give you a close-up view of what we're looking at over here on A. He needs 5 to tie. He's got 2 in the corral and 3 in play, so he would need every stone to count. So removing any of these stones, which is what Team Zaken is trying to do right now, would end the match. Zaken delivers a stone. It looks like it's got plenty of weight. Sweepers are walking with it. It's just a matter of line. They're watching it. Is he going to get it? Oh, no. He just misses it to the outside, and there is still life over on Sheet A. Go back to our 6 sheet view, so that you can see what's going on over on C. It still looks like 2 red in the back of the house as Rimkus throws his first shot. And he's going to impact the red guard out front and kind of just spread open. There's still a very easily used port there, but red is sitting too, waiting for the teams to come in from Sheet B. Mooney's going to try and put up a guard. We have a shot coming down from Adams. He needs every stone at this point. Looks heavy. I think he's trying to take out that yellow. And if that red spills out, and it will, that will end the match. Applause for the teams coming in off of Sheet B. A fantastic match between Gallegos and Miller. Meanwhile, over on Sheet A, we have handshakes as Team Zaken will take the 3rd event final. They have run out of stones. So Nutmeg wins the 3rd event. And that leaves us just with Sheet C to look at. So there's no reason for me to show you. I'm going to experiment here with the Sheet C4 box. So you're seeing both the active house in the top left, the delivery house in the top right, and then you're seeing the more wider view on the bottom. And Mooney puts another stone right inside the 8. So Rimkus is down to his hammer, facing giving up 3. And he's already down 7-5. He really can't afford to give up any stones here, or more than 1. A take of 3 here would make the score 10-5. Coming home, Rimkus would still have the hammer, but down 5. That's a very difficult mountain to overcome. Getting to the hack just now, and you're about to hear more clapping because Sheet A is about to come in. So if there's a moment, here they come. All right, so back to the only active match. So we are looking over here now on Sheet C. Here comes the hammer from Rimkus. Looks like he's just trying to draw in for 1. Any touch of the 4-foot would give it to him. Even he can be short of the 4-foot and still get the point. The Warm Room seems to think this is light, and it looks like it may hit the guard, and it will. That's going to be a 3-spot for red, increase the score to 10-5. And so we are coming home in the last event of the Golden Handle in 2019, the second event final. It is a 10-5 match with Mooney leading Rimkus. Bad with names. Is there shake? No, there is shaking going on. Rimkus has conceded to Mooney, down 5, coming home in the 8th. So that match is now over. And with that match ending, my duties here are ending. So I'll take this opportunity to thank you for joining us. The 2019 Golden Handle has been completed. We really appreciate you guys joining us. Please consider joining us next year. It is a round robin tournament in the mixed format. That's a lot of fun. We enjoy throwing every year right after the new year. But until then, my name is Britt, and I'll be signing off. Thank you again for joining us from Nutmeg Curling Club.